we bring you this top story on a potential World War III. You are watching a Voice Podcast News. Let's get started. In a world fraught with escalating tensions, 5 dangerous flashpoints could spark the next global conflict, triggering the devastation of World War III. The international community watches anxiously as conflicts intensify, and the potential for a global war looms closer than ever before. Each of these flashpoints represents a powder keg, and one wrong move could set the world ablaze. Today, we're breaking down these 5 critical regions and the devastating consequences of a third world war. The first flashpoint lies in Eastern Europe. Putin's relentless airstrikes on Ukrainian cities have ravaged the country, leaving destruction in their wake. Civilians face daily bombardments, and the death toll continues to rise. But Putin's aggression isn't just about Ukraine. It's a direct challenge to the West. With each missile strike, Russia sends a chilling message to NATO. Interfere, and the West will suffer unimaginable consequences. Russia's warnings are growing louder, its tone more aggressive. The risk of a direct confrontation between NATO and Russia has never been higher, and if it happens, it could ignite the most destructive conflict the world has seen in decades. The ripple effects of a Russia-NATO war would be catastrophic, with global powers quickly drawn into the fray. With nuclear arsenals at the ready, a single misstep could have apocalyptic consequences. Meanwhile, across the globe in Asia, another powder keg is simmering. The standoff between China and Taiwan. China's ambitions to reunify Taiwan with the mainland have grown increasingly brazen, and military buildup along the coast is a clear indicator that Beijing is preparing for more than just diplomatic pressure. Tensions between China and the US are at an all-time high, as Washington has promised to defend Taiwan's sovereignty at any cost. The US military presence in the Indo-Pacific region is stronger than ever, with fleets stationed across the South China Sea, ready to respond to any aggressive moves by Beijing. But the question remains, what happens when China makes its move? An invasion of Taiwan would be a direct challenge to the US and its allies, sparking a regional conflict that could quickly escalate into full-blown war. This isn't just a threat to the region, it's a threat to global peace, as 2 of the world's largest superpowers would find themselves locked in a deadly confrontation. Let's turn now to the Korean Peninsula, another flashpoint that could send the world spiraling into war. North Korea, under the unpredictable rule of Kim Jong-un, continues to push the boundaries of international patience. Missile tests and nuclear threats have become the norm, and the situation grows more volatile by the day. North Korea's advanced missile technology poses a direct threat to South Korea, Japan, and even the US mainland. Any military action from North Korea, whether intentional or accidental, could provoke a massive retaliatory strike, drawing China, the US, and Russia into a conflict that could engulf the region and beyond. The Korean Peninsula has been a hotspot for decades, but the stakes have never been higher as North Korea inches closer to becoming a fully fledged nuclear power. In the South China Sea, yet another flashpoint threatens to ignite international conflict. China's aggressive militarization of this vital waterway has raised serious alarms throughout Southeast Asia and the West. This region is a critical artery for global trade, with nearly 1/3 of the world's shipping passing through its waters. Territorial disputes over small, strategic islands have led to clashes between Chinese forces and other regional powers. The US Navy continues to patrol the waters, asserting freedom of navigation in direct defiance of Beijing's claims. But tensions in the South China Sea are a ticking time bomb. A single naval confrontation or accidental skirmish could quickly escalate into something far more dangerous, pulling global powers into another war front with devastating consequences for the global economy and security. Finally, we must look at the Middle East, where Iran's growing nuclear ambitions and its expanding proxy wars are creating the perfect storm for conflict. Israel has made it clear that it will not tolerate a nuclear-armed Iran, and the likelihood of preemptive military action is growing. If Israel strikes Iran's nuclear facilities, the entire region could erupt into war. Iran's proxies, including Hezbollah and militias in Iraq and Syria, would retaliate, leading to a wider regional conflict that could draw in global superpowers. The Middle East has long been a hotspot of instability, but the potential for a direct clash between Iran and Israel, with the involvement of the US and Russia, could plunge the entire world into chaos. The economic impact would be felt globally, especially with the Middle East's control over much of the world's oil supply. Disruptions in the flow of energy resources could spark a global economic crisis, exacerbating the destruction caused by the conflict itself. Each of these flashpoints is a potential trigger for World War III. They may seem isolated, but the reality is that in today's interconnected world, conflict in one region can quickly spread to others. And unlike wars of the past, today's conflicts come with the looming threat of nuclear weapons. One misstep, one wrong decision, and the world could be plunged into a nuclear nightmare that would change the course of human history forever. The question we must ask ourselves is this: are we prepared for what may come? As the drums of war grow louder, the need for diplomacy, restraint, and international cooperation has never been more urgent. The stakes couldn't be higher. The future of global peace, and possibly humanity itself, hangs in the balance. If you found this breakdown insightful, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more updates on these critical issues. Your engagement helps us spread awareness and keep important conversations like this one alive. Thanks for watching, and stay informed. Together, we can make a difference in preventing global catastrophe.